Today is our lesson 6. In the first lesson, I introduced about the Eastern wisdom. I have been saying it is so thousands of years old, and the goal is to find the subjective reality, the self. Understand that this self is a never-changing reality. It never suffers. It has no confusion, it has no anxiety, it has no suffering. It is the mind that lives in ignorance has the problem, and that is the objective reality. So we picked up a couple of the principles. And in the second lesson, we understood what is right and the wrong knowledge. What is right in the wrong notion. I have a notion, wrong notion, that I am the body, I am the mind, I am the breath, I am the intellect, I am the ego. The moment my mind claims I am the body, the suffering begins from there. That is what we have understood in the second lesson. In the third lesson, we understood how to approach life, day-to-day living. And we discussed about getting a driving license. So in order to get, you read everything on the Google, all about driving, but you cannot drive. You should not drive. The same way, we have to pass the written examination, we have to go for practical examination, and then once we succeed, we get a driving license. Now we have a permit to drive. Now listen, two parts. First is, when I have a permit to drive, it does not mean that I should start driving, I should not have a rash driving. I should not kill anyone. I should maintain my awareness. So what happens? As a driver, I do the things differently. Similarly, we have to follow the principles. We have to follow the principles of learning the principles. We need to contemplate and reflect to make our mind fully aware of the wisdom of the self. The way we pass the written examination, same thing. Now I understand all the principles. There is no doubt. Here is the right lane driving. Here is the left lane. Here is the middle lane. I have to take a right turn. What should be done and what not. All the doubts are removed by the written examination. I have a fair understanding. Similarly, we learn the principles, we contemplate on it, and we see the picture, a clear picture. Now I need to practice. Now I need to go for practical examination. See that. Exactly the same way that we have covered briefly in our third lesson. In the fourth lesson, we understood what is right knowledge and what is wrong knowledge. That is what the first of the Eightfold path of Buddha, Eightfold Noble Path. And so simple. The moment we sit and ask our mind, look at the thought, feeling, sensation, possession, objects, people. And then your mind asks, which thing is not changing in this world? The one who takes birth has to die. I build a house, after 100 years it falls down. One example, the body is constantly changing. Body is constantly changing. So I have to look at it that when everything is changing, how to live So that is a right perception. The moment I have a right perception, then I can go to the next step. So, and in the fifth, we have understood the last week's session, the right desire and the right intention. What is right intention? It is right desire. What is right desire? So simple. Can anyone outside can give me peace and happiness? No. Now see what happens then. It is so simple to pick up and contemplate on that. That I'm expecting happiness from A. But A is also not happy. So what happens? There is bound to be conflict, there is bound to be suffering, there is bound to be anxiety. So what the Master is saying, what is right intention? I have to turn this mind from outside to inside. So in today's lesson, simple one principle. Last week we covered that. We are doing the same thing again and again, repeatedly, weeks and weeks, months and months, years and years, but expecting a different result. Is it possible? And if it is not possible, then I have to ask the mind, I have to think and contemplate what else is needed. So we have to do the things differently to expect the right result. And what is that right result? Is the peace and the happiness, love and the truth and the wisdom. And now, in order to have that love, truth and wisdom to discover oneself, first principle, I have to learn the principle as it is, one. We read the text, we read a Google News. Oh, the Trump has done thing. Now I know what the Trump has done. First step. So I know the principle, I can repeat it, I remember it. Second part is now I have to contemplate, to remove the confusion, to remove the doubt. Manan, contemplation. Third is the regular practice, and it leads to awakening. Now see, there are three factors: teacher, taught, knowledge. What is the role of a teacher? Like a GPS. And the taught has to grasp that knowledge in order to proceed and treat the path of understanding. Three factors. And what we did, right knowledge, the first fold path of the noble path. Second, we understood the right intention. Now, who understands the right intention? Only a person who becomes a seeker. A student, just a layman, he says, okay, I recently received an email, 1000 practices of meditation. Buy this book from Amazon. And in the introduction, he was only talking about people, he was only talking about places, he was only talking about objects outside. And he is focused everything on outside. Buddha says this is ignorance. What you are searching for? You are searching for the self. Why you are looking outside? You see that? So once I read the introduction, I understood it and I simply replied, thank you very much. That person cannot become a seeker. If I do not become a seeker, the change does not come. If I become a seeker, I discover how to do the things differently inside me in order to discover the peace and happiness. The Buddha says, first is the right knowledge, second is the right intention, third is the right thinking, fourth is the right speech, fifth is the right action. Pay attention. You need to listen to this again and again. Now go back. Right action. Behind that action there is a intention. Behind that intention there is a thought. And what that thought is related, if the thought is related to desire, anxiety, anger, reaction, it will lead to ignorance, and out of the ignorance, when we act, when we speak and think, it will increase our level of ignorance. So that is why the Buddha says right thought, right speech, right action. So if there is no wisdom behind the right thought, right speech and action, if I live in ignorance, it will be a wrong thought, it will be a wrong desire, and ultimately it will be a wrong action. And that action, when it manifests in the physical, we say, I'm suffering from anxiety, I'm suffering from reaction, I have lot of problem of my anger, what should I do? I'm totally upset. See that. That is why the Buddha says, what Buddha says? Right thought, right speech, right action. Right spot, right thinking, right speech, and right thought. But what is the reference point? Now again, if I'm a seeker, I know what is the reference point. The reference point is the self. The self is pure consciousness. The self manifests in love, peace, happiness, truth, and wisdom. Oh, then why am I suffering? Now, from that reference point, I realize, oh, it is not a right thinking, it is not a right speech, it is not a right action. The mind still thinks. From where, what is the cause of that wrong thought and desire and action that manifest in stress and suffering? It is ignorance. We again go back deeply. What is that ignorance? I have an incomplete knowledge about myself. When I have an incomplete knowledge about myself, then I start desire. And what is desire? Do you remember we discussed desire has two elements. First element, it says, I feel incomplete. I'm hungry, I feel incomplete. So what I do? I desire something outside me. That is why I feel sense of incompleteness. So I take the food, my hunger is gone. But it repeats itself. That is because when I feel the sense of incompleteness and seeking something others, it constantly agitates the mind, and that agitation leads me to action. I'm running, always running. This last week, yesterday 2 people does online session. We are working on the challenge of what Heather was feeling the challenge. She had no issue. So I could see these two couples have the same problem of extreme anxiety, panic attacks. So the one couple told me that I have been, I went for a business trip and I went there, so I was fully busy, so therefore I did not practice. Now the mind is not able to understand, if I do the practice, it is going to change me. The mind forgot that why he is receiving lessons from me. So I said, why you are receiving lessons from me? So let me talk to you for an hour, and You just relax, remain busy, and I will do the practice for you. No, I was just joking. Understand that reference point has to be clearly understood. We are busy for what? Days after days, weeks after weeks, months after months, years after year. Our anxiety, our stress, our suffering still exist, either in less quantity or in more quantity. We have not changed qualitatively, even after living hours and hours, days and days, weeks and weeks, months and months, and years and years. Why? Because I'm doing the same thing but expecting a different result. It is not possible. It will never happen. So what I have to do? I have to become aware. Can I do the things differently? Why? To expect a result, what is that result? End of suffering and awakening to inner peace and happiness. This is what these masters have been teaching us. There is nothing complex. It is not difficult. And the goal is to bring about a change in the mind. Can I change the mind? Yes. Learning the principle changes the default setting of the mind. And that is where the mindfulness lies. So let us do mindfulness practice now. Let us start. Close your eyes. So here we change our mind and we become a seeker. Today our lesson is change the mind and become a seeker. What is that becoming a seeker? Is the seeker different from outside? No. Is seeker different from outside? No. Why? We suffer if we have only 5K or 50K. Both suffer. If we are married or divorced or single, we all suffer. Look at it. Why? People are doing the same thing, and expecting different result. Who brings that result? Mind. Who brings the result and who does the action? Our mind. Oh, so mind needs to change. That once you are clear about it here and now, then what happens? Then we go for being comfortable. Being comfortable. Understand that part. Being comfortable. Okay. What is that? Being comfortable. You see that we are working on the mind. Why we are working on the mind? To change it. Why? To become a seeker. Seeker always achieves and attains. You see that? What exactly we are doing? We are doing nothing. We are look at neck joint. When you look at the joint, it is the mind is looking there. So what we are asking the mind, please. We are asking the mind, do nothing, just look. So do nothing. When it looks, our experience changes. Our experience changes. Our level of awareness goes up, and in that awareness, we experience sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness. The mind is now learning the different way. Mind is now learning the different way to discover inner peace and happiness. It has understood all the principles before. Look at the shoulder joint, feel the sensation, and be comfortable, being comfortable, and at the same time experience the steadiness. What we are teaching, the mind is learning. What it is learning? That doing nothing and simply looking means being aware. What happens? Something great happens. The mind drops running. See that? Mind starts dropping ignorance. We understood that. Why? We understood when the mind drops the ignorance, it will also drop running. How it drops? We are becoming aware. That is the cause of desire, and the cause of karma or action is desire. Look at it. Look at the hip joint. Feel the sensation. Feel the sensation. Being comfortable and steadiness. Again, that is why we need to understand. As I discussed that written examination, compulsory in driving. Same here, listening the principles, contemplating, spending even 5 minutes, couple of times during the day. Oh, what is the principle? Peace is my essential nature. Why I am not in peace? Oh, just communicate with yourself. Why? To change the mind. If the mind does not change its reference point, it will not achieve the ultimate peace and happiness. How simple it is. Now what happens when we become aware? We become aware that peace and happiness is inside. First, peace and happiness are inside when we become aware. The way we are becoming aware by becoming comfortable. First, the self is never changing reality. Self is never changing reality. And now see, but Mind is running. Mind is running, going away from meditation practice. So the master says, what should we do? Again it says, do nothing. And witness. And watch what is happening in the mind. What is happening in the mind? Experience of thought, feeling, sensation, sensation. At the same time, now understand, at the same time, we also experience sensation, being comfortable, and steadiness. That is a very subtle level of awareness. So then what happens? Any experience comes at this moment, the witness says, let it come. Witness says, let it go. Witness says, let it be. Witness says, let it stay. Whatever is happening to the mind, we are not the party to the mind. Why? We are doing things differently to discover our real self. That is why it is not that, oh, this thought has come and then I was stressed, I was imagining, visualizing. No. Let anything comes, any experience happens in the mind. Why? I have to do things differently, and what is that difference? I'm not doing anything, I'm just witnessing, observing, understanding how this crazy mind leads me to suffering. And that is what is being carefree, and that is what is being comfortable. Done. Now see, we show the mind to discover sensation, relaxation, and stillness. How? Again we say, look at the head and the neck. Looking means aware. Also means not carried away by any experience of thought, feeling, etc. What we are saying, just be there. So, and wait there. Two things. So when it is there, where? On the head and the neck, it raises awareness. In that it is, you feel the sensations are deep, and then you feel relaxation. Why relaxation? That is the beautiful principle. The mind is now moving within, because it is not at all concerned outside. And there comes the stillness. What is that stillness? Opposite of action, or karma. Look at it. I'm not guiding you anything different. You know it. I'm pointing you out. Now we will continue to witness what? Mind starts moving within. First, it raises awareness and attention naturally, and it experiences sensation, relaxation, and stillness. What else we are doing? How simple is that? So, look at the right arm, sensation, relaxation, stillness. We experience as if the awareness level, awareness about ourselves has gone up. How it has gone up? Mind has started moving within. How it has started moving within? By being comfortable, and carefree. How mind experiences. Look at the left arm, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. So how come the mind is experiencing sensation, relaxation, and stillness? Because it has started moving within. One, it raises awareness. Why it raises awareness? Because now the mind says, not worried about anything outside. You see that it is so simple. The chest and the belly, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. But behind it, we are aware what is happening behind. The mind is moving inside. So simple. We always experience that. We park the car outside and we move inside the home. There is a storm outside. It is so natural. We know it. But still the mind is running. What we know, the storm outside, we run inside. We move inside home. Leaving the highways, streets, and neighbors. They are our thoughts. They make us run. Why they make us run? We have already understood. It is because of the desire. Cause of desire? Ignorance. What is ignorance? Sense of incomplete knowledge. Incomplete knowledge about who we are. Look at the right leg. Feel the sensation, relaxation, and stillness. Left leg, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The entire body, sensation, relaxation, and stillness. The next step is little subtle, but yet very simple, my friend. Very simple. Very simple. What is that? I see you. I know you. I experience you. How come? How come? Because I am different from you. First, I am separate from you. See that? That is the journey. In the end, no one is separate. But here we are going in a subtle. So, whatever I know, whatever is my experience, whatever thoughts I have, I know them. How simple? I experience them. Clear? So when it is clear, then now comes. Become aware of the breath. First point. In and out. Second point. Feeling the sensation. Third point. No change because we are not doing anything. We are doing nothing. And now comes the fourth subtle point. Whatever experiences takes place at this moment, you know it. You experience it. Means it is not you. Separate from you. Clear? Separate from you. And you are still present. So what should we do? The fourth point is the moment any experience happens, remind yourself, looking deep inside the heart, in the space. What do you remind? I am the peace. You need not to repeat like mantra. You listen to me, you feel a sensation in the body. Let that sensation remind you, oh, I'm the peace, and look inside, deep inside the heart, in the space, and non-verbally say to you, to yourself, I am the peace. It's a conscious journey. That I and I am not. That is all. We are separating. Master says, salt from sugar. You might have seen red hot iron ball. But iron ball has no property of heat, redness, and light. It has borrowed its light, redness from fire. We understand fire is different and separate from iron ball. You leave the iron ball, do nothing. What happens? The iron ball goes into its own nature. What is its nature? Heavy, black, weight, shape. Understand that part very clearly. Shape. Okay. What about fire? Does it have any shape? Any weight? Color? Color is not black. Similarly, when you say I am peace, when you say I am a peace inside, leaving the properties of body, breath, mind, intellect, all the past and current experiences. Do you leave it? No, you simply separate. What is that separate? Separate in awareness. And that leads us to deeper state of meditation. Our experience is just doing that. Now, okay, do nothing. Again, we are not doing anything. And still I say, why? That you learn from experience, that you have started doing the things differently, so that you can also do the same in day-to-day living. So what happens? The peace remains intact. Happiness remains as it is. The way the fire remains hot, it remains red, light. Property of the fire is that. And it separates itself from the property of the doing nothing, remain as it is. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Bring your awareness on the right hand, your awareness on the left hand. Lift your both the palms, place it on your eyes, open the eyes inside. Know your experiences, bring the hands down. And we will share our experiences now.